Good evening, everybody. Meeting again with the Materia Medica session. And we have learned in the last lecture one common remedy, children's remedy, the Sina. Today we are going to touch and learn some aspects of the Chamomilla. Again, a very common children's remedy, called to be a children's remedy. I will going to share few cases. It is a very common remedy, so everyone feels that what is there new in Chamomilla. Yes, I am going to tell you the same thing that there is no need, but there is the chamomilla. You must able to observe the chamomilla states. It might be hidden at any level. It is considered to be one of the important pain remedy wherever it might be. Are you not getting the voice? Just a minute. Now is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Is it?
Yes, sir. Now it's okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. So chamomilla is considered to be a children's remedy. And what is new in chamomilla? That is the question arises in everyone's mind. My suggestion is also one and same, but there are many few things which are associated with the chamomilla state. It is considered to be pain remedy, and wherever it may be, it never depends upon specific area where the chamomilla acts. Chamomilla pains are itself characteristics, whatever may be the organs. And that's why few important cases where I have utilized chamomilla again and again is most important thing is the children's diarrhea, specifically the dentitional diarrhea of children. One of the most common and useful remedies, specifically in infants who are 5 months, 6 months, 4 months, where that diarrhea happens to be there whenever teething starts 6, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, then during that period, this diarrhea which happens to be there and it has its own characteristic. It has a greenish tinge or it is greenish like adipose spinach, chops of spinach. And this I have utilized with many infants. I have basically good pediatric OPD in my practice, and I have many acutes. This remedy is a wonderful remedy for the acutes. So dentitional diarrhea, the diarrhea which has very specific characteristic, it is greenish in color with pain in abdomen, with a weeping tendency, the irritating cry of the child. So the state of chamomilla should be associated with this. Then it is one of the important remedy. And here you can give the medium potency, the moderate potency 200, and you can give it in the doses that as soon as it stops, you have to stop. And I used to tell patient that give a one dose whenever there is a motion happens to be there. So whenever patient has one motion, give one dose. Then again it has again, so that if it stops, patient will not going to get the dose of chamomilla. So this is what I used to do whenever the vomiting and diarrhea happens to be there. I used to follow it in this manner. So this is very specific remedy for the specifically the diarrhea which happens to be there during dentitional period. So many times I have used in children, infants, and I found many times very perfect result with few doses of a chamomilla where the whole state of it is present over there. Second important thing, it is also a remedy for diarrhea in childbed. That is a diarrhea to the mother happens to be there during childbirth period. That is just after, during and after delivery. And that is a period where this remedy is a very useful remedy for the diarrhea, which has the same characteristic which the infant diarrhea is having. So the characteristic states should be present then, and then chamomilla is a very important remedy for diarrhea. One patient was there, brought to me just a 4 month of pregnancy, and she had a very severe toothache. She went to dentist, she has consumed some paracetamol 650 milligram. He has tried with the just paracetamol, then ultimately it was not getting settled, so he advised to take the amoxicillin, which is little bit safer during pregnancy. She consumed 5 days course of amoxicillin, and it was not getting settled, and she was in fact so despaired because of that toothache, and which was not settling, and no one was ready. As pregnancy was there, no one was ready to take the x-rays and all those things and what to do. The question was there, and they come to me. It's an acute state which she was just weeping because of that pain, and it was really unendurable to her. And so the modality which she told is very characteristic, that she used to take, whenever she used to take any worm inside the mouth, it used to aggravate. She cannot hold it. That's what she has told to me. That was very specific, and she was just weeping and weeping because pains were so much, and it used to get aggravated before midnight during the evening period, and she used to weep. And this was just 8 or 10 day when she had that. So then during a specifically pregnancy, if toothache is there, this remedy is also one of the important remedy where modalities matches. The patient takes something warm and it gets aggravated. This remedy works. That's what I was knowing. And pains which are unbearable, again the chamomilla is one of the important remedy. And whenever you give in potentized form, it is always safer to give. So I have given chamomilla to her in 200 potency, 3 doses every 15 minutes interval, and asked her to sit in the OPD only. We'll see what happens after 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Just see, and then you can go home. And after nearly about second dose when she consumed, the pains relieved, and she was quite happy. After half an hour, the pains were disappeared. So this is very good remedy for the dentitional for the toothache during pregnancy as well as toothache during menses. This is one of the important remedy. And third case which I have utilized, and it was really wonderful to see the result. A very small child was brought to me, just 4 months child, and what his mother told, that doctor, whenever we used to bath him, every time whenever we touch the chest of the child for washing, cleaning, and it cries a lot, and he's not allowing to touch that part, and why it is happening we don't know, and he's very severely crying during that period. So we have shown it to the pediatrician also. Pediatrician said that give the paracetamol. We have given paracetamol, but this is not getting settled. So is there anything in homeopathy? I said yes, why not? And I was knowing that chamomilla is very specific remedy for the pain in infant's breast. So why not to give the chamomilla? And chamomilla is very good children's remedy. I just asked two things: how, whether the child sleeps, how is the child's nature. She says he was just irritable child, very irritable child. We are not able to sleep because of him. He and his cries tremendous. He shouts, he cries. So that was first important thing. And I asked about the stools, how they are, and she said he has good stools, but many times it has a greenish tinge. The thing was confirmed, and then I have given chamomilla 30 to that child. After giving chamomilla 30, 3 more doses, and I asked, visit me after 8 days and tell me what progress happens. When she came after a week, the child, that she explained that this problem has totally solved. Thereafter, there is no more pain when we used to bath him, and nothing happened. So this is a very good remedy for that specific condition. So these are the multiple facets. Chamomilla has multiple facets. We're going to learn it from the Allen Skinner so that we can learn many things. Chamomilla, Metricaria chamomilla. Again, the family is, two things are there. If infant is breastfeeding, you can take the milk and melt it with milk and give it to the infant, or another, you can dissolve it in water and give it to the mother. This is the way I used to give. And if the infant is too small, 1 month or 2 months, then I used to give it to mother so that uh, the dose effect can be carried to the infant. This is how I used to utilize. I have given it in. I asked them to either give it milk or to give it in water. Metric area chamomilla. Persons, especially children with light brown hair, nervous, excitable temperament, oversensitive from the use or abuse of coffee and narcotics. First paragraph itself defines what is the site, where is the site of action of this specific remedy. With light brown hair, this is first important thing, constitution wise. Nervous means on the tip of their nerves. They are very active, very easily irritable, very easily reactive, excitable temperament, and that is one important thing in chamomilla, naxnomica. They are excitable. They are not calm remedies. Oversensitive from the use or abuse of coffee and narcotics. This is related with the children who are about 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and who have a habit of taking the coffee, or sometimes even they have a habit of taking the that specific Bournvitas and etc. They chocolate, specifically chocolate drinks, and this is one remedy which one can think. Children newborn during the period of dentition, and during the period of dentition he has written in bold. That boldness carries a very important thing, that this is a period where you can utilize this remedy for whatever the complaints. This is a wonderful remedy to be utilized. How are the children? Then children's nature, they are peevish, irritable, oversensitive to the pain, driven to despair. Pains are so severe, they become depressed because of it. It makes them despair. And these pains are not only for infants or children. These pains can be there for even for the adults if the pains are unendurable and patient getting despaired because of it. Think about chamomilla many times. Whatever wherever pains might be. Snappish, cannot return a civil answer. This is very typical with chamomilla, sinas, abrotenum. These are the remedies where you never get a good answer. You ask something and the answer in a irritable mood and never give a proper answer. If you ask what's your name, then you expect a good answer. What they say? Why do you want it? Their answers are not civil. These are troubling us. Child exceedingly irritable, fretful, quiet only when carried. And this is the modality which differentiates Sina from Chamomilla, where the child feels better whenever it is carried. This is too important for the Chamomilla, which never happens in Sina. Impatient, never have patience. Yes, snappish and very cross. Yes, both are close to each other. Cross means giving, not giving proper answers. They are always, if you say something, they are crossing you. This is very cross. Snappish, they are quite gives irritability. They shows the irritability. That is very typical snappish. uh, Child is impatient, wants this and that, and becomes angry when refused, or when offered, petulantly repels, rejects it, like Briannia, Sina, Creosote. This is quite common. They desire many things. They want this and that and that, and if you refuse, they get irritable, and then when you start giving them, they avoid. I don't want. Then they avoid. They never rejects absolutely at that time. This is very specific with the chamomile. So there are three remedies. Bryonia, same symptom is there. Sina, same symptom is there. With creosote, this symptom is there. And these are the remedies which have desires for many things. Too ugly to live. Too ugly to live, because this is a phrase which is used over there. Because they are suffering from such a thing, and because of that suffering, the pain, they disturb so much, and they disturb so much, shows so much of irritability, so much of cry, so much of shrieking, and this creates a problem for them. If there is a cry from the Chamomilla child, you get irritated. You never feel sympathy towards those child. That's why too ugly to live, cross and spiteful. Cross already we have discussed. Spiteful, hunchi. Spiteful is very important. Vindictive. They keeps everything in their mind and then they react in such a manner. Their looks are like that. They never forget those things. Piteous mourning of the child because he cannot have what he wants. So his child is crying with shrieking and cries with a big sound because the things are refused. Piteous whining and restlessness. Winning, it is a winning restlessness. They are crying with a tremendous restlessness, which you can observe over there. Winning is crying. Patient cannot endure anyone near him. If if you start checking the Chamomilla child, if you go close to them, then they never allows you to check. That is the very important thing. So cannot endure anyone near him. It's cross and cannot bear to be spoken to. So if you try to communicate, they cannot. Like Selika child. Averse to talking, answers peevishly. They never likes to talk. And if he, by any means they tries to answer peevishly. So if you what is your problem? I don't have any problem. Their reactions are very instantaneous and they are irritable. They are brought compulsorily over there by their parents and they never gives you civil answer. This is what the Chamomilla state is there. Complaints from anger, especially chill and fever. Whenever the child becomes angry tremendously, that anger is saturated, expressed, and later immediately followed by chill, followed by fever. So if mother tells you that doctor, he was very angry yesterday, he fought a lot, and thereafter he got chill and fever. Think of chamomilla. It is one of the important, most important remedy. Pains seems unendurable, drives to despair, aggravated by heat. Pains are unendurable. Unendurable, they cannot tolerate that pain. That is very typical with the chamomilla. Seems unendurable, drives to despair, aggravated by heat. Any type of heat, it aggravates the pain. Aggravated evening before midnight. It is aggravated evening before the midnight. Evening period is the aggravation period of the chamomilla. Pains with heat, thirst, and fainting with numbness of the affected part. What is the pain associated with heat, pain associated with thirst, pain associated with fainting with numbness of the affected parts. So the parts become numb. There are irritations gets aggravated. One cheek is red and hot, other is pale and cold. So one cheek red and hot. Yesterday we have learned in Chamomilla, it is one cheek is red and other is pale. That is Chamomilla. But here in Chamomilla, one cheek is red and hot, other is pale and cold. So that is little bit difference between these two remedies are there. Oversensitiveness to open air. They are very sensitive to open air. Great aversion to wind, especially about the ears. They always like to keep it close. They want to cover the ears. They are very sensitive to the air around the ears. That is very important thing. Toothache. Now toothache is very important in chamomilla. Toothache, if anything warm is taken into the mouth, like bismuth, like bryonia, like cochlear, this is modality. On entering warm room in bed. So whenever patient enters into the warm room, toothache starts. In LMC Park, whenever patient enters into the warm room, coryza starts. See the differences. These are very important things. Toothache in bed. Whenever patient lies in bed, toothache starts. Toothache from coffee. Whenever patient consumes the coffee, the toothache starts. Toothache during menses and during pregnancy. Very important thing. Whenever the menses happens to be there and pregnancy is there and if toothache is there, it is very important remedy. So toothache is characteristic of the chamomilla. Labor pains. This is one more point where one should utilize the chamomilla. I have utilized in labor cases. How the pains are. Here the patient shows irritability of the child. The pains are spasmodic, distressing, wants to get away from them by any means. They wants to come out. What do they talk? They become irritable. Doctor, do Caesar, whatever it may be. But I don't want pain. It is intolerable. This is very difficult. Tearing down the legs and press upwards. So pains tearing down the legs. It goes downward side and as if something is tearing in the legs. At the same time, it lifts up also upside also. And these pains are very, very distressful. Patient becomes so distressful. It becomes very unendurable. Then diarrhea. Diarrhea is again very important common thing. Diarrhea from cold, diarrhea from anger or chagrin, fever from anger, chagrin. Chagrin is nothing but the santap, tremendous anger. Diarrhea during dentition, bold, it is given in bold. Diarrhea after tobacco, underline this. This is very important modality. Diarrhea in childbed, again given in italics. That's what I have told you. Diarrhea from downward motion like borax and sanicula. So these are the very important modalities which you can see. Stools in diarrhea. Stools are green, watery, corroding like chopped eggs or spinach. Stools are hot, very offensive like a rotten eggs. Diarrhea which is there in chamomilla has these characteristics. So immediately you can catch on the specifically, even though it is a particular symptom over there, you can catch the remedy very easily. This is very important. Nipples inflamed, tender to touch like Helonius and Phytolacca, but infant's breast tender to touch. This is very important thing one should not forget. Many infants have pain and we don't have a remedy in allopathy. And that's why they use the painkillers and so-called right from early childhood. It's not the thing. Give the chamomilla and setters. Milk runs out in nursing woman. Very important thing. It is coming out automatically, even though she is not feeding, the milk comes out. And after weaning, if it comes out, then it is cona immaculata. So when the infant's feeding is stopped, whether it is weaning and still the milk never stops, the conime is the important remedy. Convulsions. Convulsions of the children from nursing after a fit of anger in a mother. See the dynamicity. Mother gets angry, something happened, and she fed her child, and that child gets the convulsion. It has been transmitted trans through the mother's milk, through the breast, and child gets that very typically convulsion. This is very characteristic of. If it is because of pride in the child, in the mother, and she feeds the baby, and convulsion happens, then it is opium. There is a difference between these two specific things. If it is because of anger in the mother, then it is chamomilla. If it is because of pride, I think he has given. Nux has very similar symptom to the chamomilla, but opium is different. After fright in the mother, if child gets the no childbed, Shahrukh, it is childbed period. Childbed period is just after the delivery. It is in mothers. It is a period which is called as a mother's period after delivery. During and after delivery, the period is called a childbed period. It is a period. Violent rheumatic pains drive him out of bed at night, compel him to walk about like Rustox. Rustox also has very severe rheumatic pains and it becomes restless, cannot lie in bed. And same thing you get in chamomilla, but in Rustox you get the inflammatory signs over there. In chamomilla you get only pains which are so severe in muscles and joints, and but you cannot get the inflammatory signs which you can get in Rustox. Sleepy but cannot sleep. Many remedies has this future belladonna, the causticum, the opium. Many remedies are having this future. sleepy but cannot sleep. Burning of souls at night. So there is severe burning of souls at night. First puts feet out of bed. Bedorinum, sulfur, pulsatilla. These are the patients who keeps the fits out of the bed. Relations. See, there are two remedies mentioned for the relationship for the complementary remedy relationship. One is belladonna. Belladonna in diseases of children. Yes, it is a complementary. And disease of children with cranial nerves. And second, wrongly written over there, chamomilla. It is not chamomilla, it is maccar for abdominal nerves. Right over there, make the clarity. It is maccar for abdominal nerves. So complementary, there are two complementaries. One is belladonna, another is maccar. In cases spoiled by the use of opium or morphine in complaints of children, chamomilla is the very important remedy. If you give, there was a habit that previously in old times they used to give opium, just a material opium. They used to touch the tongue of the child, and so that child sleeps whole day, and people used to go for work. And this used to happen over there. This remedy, if such a opium was given to the child and bad effects had happened, this remedy is a very important remedy to settle that child. Then he has mentioned compare belladonna, borax, bryonia, coffea, pulsatilla, sulfur. So these are the remedies which comes closer to the chamomilla state. So you compare, basically you compare belladonna with chamomilla, and many common features you can get over there. Borax, already we have discussed that because of downward motion, if diarrhea is there, that is here it is close to the borax. So every specific remedy mentioned over there, see the modalities and compare. You can get the close relationship as well as the diversity over there. The most important sentence of this is mental calmness contraindicates chamomilla. Child is brought to you for some of the reason, and you feel chamomilla. First important thing, if the child is calm and quiet, forget about chamomilla. That is not a chamomilla state. So every remedy has carries its own state. Chamomilla are very irritable, very nervous, very restless, very active. That state is the chamomilla. Chamomilla never comes to you in calm, settled state, and that's why that is not at all a chamomilla. One more thing which is not mentioned in this book: inimical remedy ginkgum metallicum. You cannot give ginkgum prior to the chamomilla or after the chamomilla. These are inimical to each other. Aggravation by heat, aggravation by anger, aggravation evening before midnight, aggravation in open air, aggravation in the wind, and irritations. This is generally hot remedy, and that's why every hot thing or heat in every form aggravates the child. Amelioration from being carried. So if you carry them, they feels better. Amelioration from fasting, amelioration from warm, wet weather. Wet weather amelioration is very important. It is warm, wet weather. That is one word, warm, wet weather. Action is 20 to 30 days. This remedy is subacute in action, 20 to 30 days it acts, but generally it has a very acute phase. So acute states you can very easily control with the chamomilla. So this is a wonderful remedy in our day-to-day homeopathic practice. Many times most useful in children's states, but you should not be fixed with your mind that it should children's remedy only. The pains of rheumatic pains of the persons, it is useful. Then toothache during pregnancy, the childbed period in the mother also it can be useful. So it is not just a children's remedy. You can use it in adults depending upon the characteristics of the chamomilla which you can see over there. So that's all regarding the chamomilla which we have discussed today in length. And it has many facets. My suggestion is for you to go through the Borix Mater Medica, where you can find it out many things regarding this remedy. So it is a wonderful remedy. One should learn from different books so that you can develop your own thought regarding it. So that's one thing. Second important thing I want to discuss, 2 minutes to 3 minutes are there. I want to tell you, those who are practitioners who used to join this session, my suggestion to all of you must go through the organon and philosophy. If you want to practice a perfect homeopathy with successful result, don't concentrate only on materia medica. Organ and philosophy is a backbone which is so essential in practice. And if you, my suggestion is to go through the first organon lectures, not directly with the philosophy. First, the organon, which I have taken whole right from first aphorism to 291 aphorism. Go through that commentary so that you can learn many things over there. And this, in fact, this is the book which actually tells you how to practice. Every aspect is explained by animal. Then maybe if it is possible, do attend the lecture, philosophy lecture. From tomorrow onwards, I will going to take it at 5:45 instead of 6 o'clock. It will be forever 5:45. I will going to start. So my suggestion to all of you, if it is not feasible for you at that specific time, you can later listen that in the on the YouTube. But my suggestion to all of you is always learn the organon and philosophy so that your practice becomes very clear. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. If you have any query, we can have a chat. Otherwise, we will continue.
Sir, a boy of 13 years boy, he was having severe cough, not severe, but cough with a stoppage of nostrils. And while coughing, he was holding his chest, sir, left side of chest.
Hmm.
So, but no thirst, not that much marked. He's having headache. So I gave Bryonia 30 yesterday, sir.
Okay, but since how many days he was having the cough?
Cough, it started yesterday.
It is acute one.
Acute one.
Okay, if you have given Briania, my suggestion is that don't give so low. If it is child of 13 years of age, the susceptibility is not that much low. My suggestion is always give it in moderate or high dose, 200 or 1 m potency, and let us see. If you have given it, don't change. Take if it is not, if it has been not settled, then take the modalities again.
Modalities are when in a room, he is occasionally is coughing and he's holding his chest. That is the
Okay,
main symptom.
okay, you have given the Briania, let it work. But instead of 30, you can increase to 200 also. That is a better solution for it. And then
200 to 3 doses can I give?
3 doses you can give.
Okay. Can I continue natrum sulf, sir? Natrum sulf 6x or
You can. Instead of that, by combination 6 is better solution.
okay. Sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you.
Okay.
sir, I came across a person, for whatever may be the reason, if he takes cool drinks or something cold or ice creams, all the problems are ameliorated. Which drug I am unable to.
Whenever he takes the ice cream,
Ice cream or cool drinks,
huh?
all the problems get ameliorated.
This is the common
Even
one of the important feature of the phosphorus or acid phos. It is a common symptom of phosphorus or acid phos. Juicy things ameliorate. That is the acid phos. They crave for the juicy things, cold things.
cold things.
Sir, one patient, swelling of legs, both legs, lady patient around 27 years, and love disappointment is there, and along with this hypothyroidism is there. Taking these symptoms, I have given leg cases. He had swelling, leg swelling has reduced, but once again, it has come back. So, what should be next, sir? Prescription.
Lachesis you have given after repatriation.
Yes, sir. After repatriation.
Then in which potency you have given?
200, sir.
My suggestion is that if it has worked in that case, then don't
Yes,
change it. Just give it higher, one more dose, 1 m, or start it with LM. LLM will be a
Okay,
better
sir.
position, better potency for this patient. You can give
Okay,
LLM
sir.
one and wait for at least 15 days. What happens? You can repeat.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
And Harmances also.
Less than
Yes,
1
sir.
minute is remaining. It will be gets.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.